Quick pause here. One thing people often miss in courtroom videos is that judges are constantly reading body language. The defendant might not even realize it, but posture, tone, even facial expressions can influence how a judge interprets your attitude. So let me ask you, if you were standing in front of a judge facing prison time, would you be calm or nervous?
Slow.
I believe. Let me see.
Good morning, you're Gracie Cassidy. And Ms. Cassidy was previously in court and entered a plea of guilty in cause number 24 DCCR 1480 to the third-degree felony offense of unlawful carrying a weapon in prohibited place. I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
State has.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Your Honor, the only...
Okay, this part is extremely important. We're talking about a third-degree felony in Texas for carrying a weapon in a prohibited place. That's not a minor charge. The possible punishment range here is 2 to 10 years in prison. So even though the courtroom sounds calm and procedural right now, make no mistake, the stakes are huge.
This fact I would like to say is she's now living in Georgia and will be transferred to Georgia for supervision.
Just make sure when you talk to probation, they'll get that all taken care of. The biggest thing about your probation being transferred is it kind of means you have double duty. So you will be reporting in person where you live, but you're still technically on this probation here in Texas. So it's not like the whole case. Well, no, there's one fee, but you will have to report either by mail or online here as well each month.
Now here's where things get complicated. Interstate probation transfers sound simple, but legally they're a minefield. When probation moves from Texas to Georgia, the defendant has to satisfy requirements from both systems. One missed report, one unpaid fee, one paperwork error, and suddenly you're looking at a probation violation. And violations can reopen the door to prison.
So you're going to go in person there, and you also have to report here. So you can't forget to do that mail-in or the online reporting here because that would be a violation. It's just a lot of people they think they're doing everything right because they're reporting in person over there, but you have to stay in touch with us as well. All right.
Judge, I apologize. There is one thing, and I spoke to Mr. Megan about this previously. There seems to be maybe a new charge in Georgia. I don't know I don't know the circumstances of this, nor do I recognize the charge.
Yeah.
And it's equivalent with us.
Hang on, ma'am.
So that's the only thing that's new that I wasn't aware of, and I spoke to Mr. Megan about before, and he was going to find out.
Okay, so whatever you have to take care of, obviously in Georgia with regard to...
Wait, did you catch that? A possible new charge in Georgia. This is the exact moment when courtroom tension spikes. Judges take new allegations during sentencing very seriously because it raises a critical question. Is the defendant learning from this situation or repeating the same behavior? Even if the charge turns out to be minor, the timing here is definitely not helping.
What they want to do in Georgia.
That's the case, Judge. But
I got in a car accident. They arrested me because I had a warrant here.
I got you. Okay. All right.
But I already they dealt with that. Well,
Okay.
there was nothing to deal with. I just had to find out.
That's where you got arrested, and then they transferred you here.
I didn't get transferred. I was at city jail for 44 days.
Okay.
To find out.
Okay. Got it.
that's
Okay.
sufficient, Mr.
All right.
Allen.
Okay, Ms. Cassidy, I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient of...
I have a question.
Yes.
This packet, it said like I had to do like 300 hours of community service.
So explain all that to your probation.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're on felony probation. It's required. If you talk to your probation officer, if you're doing everything right, sometimes they waive part of those. Sometimes they don't. It depends on how you're doing. You understand? This could be a lot worse, so you probably need to fix your attitude real quick. Because having a bad attitude with me does nothing good for you. Okay. So I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, I'm going to follow your agreement.
And there it is. The judge directly calls out the attitude. This moment is bigger than it seems. Judges have huge discretion when deciding probation terms, early termination, or even revocation later on. When she says this could be a lot worse, that's courtroom language for prison is still very much on the table.
And defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 4 years. You're ordered to pay a $500 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. If you do that, this is an excellent opportunity because you do not have a felony conviction on your record. And if you successfully complete the probation, at the end, the case is actually dismissed. You will never have a felony conviction. The other side of that, though, is if you violate any condition of probation, you can be brought back into court, you could be found guilty and sent to prison for anywhere between 2 and 10 years. Do you understand? Okay. One thing is on these types of probation, if you do everything you're supposed to, I sign early terminations from probation all the time. But it means you have to get it all taken care of early and up front. So take care of everything, and then there's the possibility of getting off early. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. You need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation's going to call you up to her desk when she's ready to go over your paperwork. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Now this is the twist most people don't expect. If she completes probation successfully, the case can actually be dismissed, meaning no felony conviction on her record. That's a massive opportunity. But the flip side is brutal. One violation, and she could come back to court and face 2 to 10 years in prison. So the real question now is, will she take this second chance seriously?